Hi.
I've seen you on YouTube before. You probably just see my face. I didn't want to interrupt your conversation.
No problem at all.
I want to ask you a question. What's your view on you're Muslim, right?
Yes.
Okay, that's what you ascribe to.
Yes.
I was gonna say, what's your view on Spinoza's God?
Who?
Spinoza's God.
Who is he?
He was a philosopher.
I know he was a philosopher. What's Spinoza's God?
Because he was, from what I understand, he was saying that I know some people equate God to nature.
Yes.
But he wasn't saying that. He was saying that that what we can know of God is extension and thought, right?
All right.
And but even in those senses, you can only know it with a limited understanding.
Right.
Yeah. And so I just want to know what your take on that was as a Muslim.
Yeah, as a human being, if you think about it, by definition, we are limited entities.
Yes.
Yeah. And the fact that we are limited entities suggests to us that whatever understanding we may procure from life around us, okay, is going to be limited.
Agreed, yeah.
Yeah? Now, we cannot think on an absolute level.
Yeah.
Nor can we understand anything on an absolute level.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So by definition, a creator, for us to understand a creator, would only be to the extent that the creator allows us to understand the creator.
Agreed.
And that is what the creator has told us in the Qur'an, that whatever has been revealed about the creator is what is contained within the revelation.
Yeah.
And for us to try and go beyond that would be pure folly. So, so there are people who will come and say, can God create a stone heavier than he can lift? Yeah. Basically, I say nonsense like that. Yeah. So, yes, there is a logic behind statements like not only Spinoza, quite a few other philosophers have attempted to answer this, and all of them have come to a pretty much similar conclusion, and that we can only know so much of the creator as much as the creator wants us to know about the creator. To go beyond that, we would be stretching the imagination. Yep, so there you are.
Because I wanted to, because I've been sort of getting into it. I wanted to,
right, excellent.
I've seen a few of your YouTube videos. Like I said, I don't want to interrupt you. Just wanted to
no problem at all. You're most welcome.
So how do you get from that to the actual Qur'an itself? Or I wouldn't say the Qur'an itself, because I would say today's Islam.
A long journey. That's the answer. A long journey. Yeah, many a time you will come across something which you yourself are struggling with. Yeah. You look at other people and see if there is any salvation by seeing their lives or understanding. Yeah. And then you realize, no, this one is your own battle which you are going to have to fight. So I found myself in a similar situation like that, okay? And I decided, wait a minute, why am I here? Because up to then, I wanted to become the best footballer, I wanted to become the best martial artist, I wanted to become everything and take the world on. And then you realize, oh dear, there are many problems here which I can't handle. And then you start asking yourself, why am I here? And a similar thing happened to me, so I was looking at that. And then I decided just to, there are various claimants of a creator. Yeah, there are claimants of contained within books. And so I decided to research. Yeah. And my approach was always look at the evidence, assess the evidence. Yeah. Not just take one or two statements because you've heard them and they make sense. No. Understand what is being assessed. Yeah. See what criteria were set down which would make sense to us as human beings, but also contain within the criteria an element which is beyond what a human being can possibly do.
Okay,
So, I started viewing all of them like that. And the one that seemed to have, ticked all the boxes on an objective basis was the Quran.
Okay.
And that is how I arrived at where I am today.
And what was your criteria?
Well,
before you ever read the Quran, what was your criteria?
No, before then, it was simple. If there is a creator, without having understood what a creator is all about, my logic was, if there is a creator, the creator cannot surely make mistakes.
Yeah.
It's just understanding. I didn't know about all this. Yeah. There can't be. But if there is a creator, and the creator is supposed to be greater than us, then it's impossible for me to try and arrive at a conclusion of what the creator is. It doesn't make sense. Yeah. So there has to be something.
Yeah, not in its totality. Totality. Yeah.
So there has to be something that has come from this alleged creator. Yeah. Now, when you start, those were the two main ones which I started on. And then obviously, as you started learning more and more, you start developing a what can you, I would call it, a criteria that starts extending. The criteria is still there, but more elements start coming into play.
Because there's probably things you didn't think about. And
exactly. Yeah. And then when that started happening, you come across a situation. For example, I was always told, Krishna, okay? I watched a movie when I was about 11 years old. Yeah. No, in fact, not even 11, about 10. Yeah. And I watched that movie, and it was talking about Krishna. Yeah. Krishna is a Hindu deity. Yeah. And I can remember that movie because of the spectacular scenes of how he flies off, he does this, that, and the other. And I used to watch and think, wow, I wish I could do that as a human being. Okay. So you come across things like that. And when I'm starting to read all this, I suddenly remember that movie. And I think, wait a minute, he was considered to be God. Yeah. Well, he came down as a man. Now, the mind is starting to think, because I have now read something about Christianity and how they said that Jesus was God. So I was drawing a parallel between what I had seen, right? So now I'm thinking, okay, is it possible for a creator to come down as a man? So you start doing research about that. Yeah? Then you come to the conclusion, oh, no, it doesn't make sense, this. Yes? Because there are other cultures. For example, there's the Australian one. Yeah, you know, the indigenous population there. Yeah? And I learned this of a scholar quite many years ago. Yeah? He found that they called their creator Atnatu. Yeah? And when they were asked, what does Atnatu mean? They told him it means the one without the alimentary canal. Yeah? Yeah, basically the one without a digestive system. He says, if you go to them and tell them, he's my God, the first question they will ask is he Atnatu? Is he without an alimentary canal? If you say, well, no, he was, they will instantly say, sorry, that cannot be the creator. So it started building. Objectively, I was looking at things, constant. When I looked at only the creator issue, yes, you'd have to go through them, and you see, for example, it says, just as an example, the Bible, if it says there, the creator regretted making man, there's a statement. Yeah? So I'm thinking, if the creator
then he's not quite
exactly.
There's an issue.
There's an issue. So you want to, obviously you don't dismiss it outright. You want to explore it and see what is the reasoning behind this. Is there possibly a problem in the translation? Is it something? And it just built over many years. Yes.
You see, I'm with you.
Yes.
We're on the same road, yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But the thing is, reason has its limitations.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm saying is because it can help you set aside matters in terms of saying this is rubbish and this is rubbish.
Makes sense.
But it can't. Let's say you have 10 roads, it can cut your roads down to 3 roads, but it can't necessarily give you the definitive truth.
Right. It depends on what you mean. If you use the phrase definitive truth, so I would suggest that we have already a yardstick that we can use to determine whether it's definitive or not.
So say that again. Sorry, one more time.
No problem. No problem. You see, when you talk about definitive truth, yeah, for us to be able to establish it is definitive truth or otherwise, we would have to necessarily have a yardstick prior.
So a measurement for
yes.
Say how that's okay.
So what would that be first?
Well, I would say
intuition.
I wouldn't say intuition.
Problem. Subjectivity.
So you're going to say stuff for your reason.
No problem. Now we have to go objective again. So either way, you have a problem.
Okay, so I see what you're saying. So basically,
Yes.
by sort of not by default, but basically that's the best instrument we have. You're saying?
It's not only about the instrument.
Yeah.
It is. Look, I can say, I'm in London.
Yeah.
So somebody says, are you telling the truth? And I say, yes, I am.
Yeah.
Now, work this out, yeah? Question, are you in London? So there was existence of London prior to the question being asked.
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah.
And for us to establish whether I am in London or not, there has to be a process.
Yes.
Yeah? For example, one guy says to me, he said, Assalamu alaikum. Excuse me. How are you, brother? Alhamdulillah. How are you? You okay?
Alhamdulillah.
Good. Nice and warm in this country, eh?
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah. Look, that's what he wore. Come
I know.
on, bro.
And only shirt inside.
Not even spring yet.
Yeah? So there's an existence of London.
Yeah.
Now establishing I am in London.
Yeah.
One fellow, I told him, I said, listen, he called me and I said, listen, I am in Kettering. It's near Leicestershire.
Yeah.
He says, I don't believe you. I said, I tell you what, hold the line. Because I was on the mobile and just next to me, I was sat at a friend's house, was the landline.
Yeah.
I said, right, Google,
Yeah.
Google the STD
Yeah,
code.
yeah.
He says, okay. I said, what does it say? Blah, blah, blah. I said, put the phone down. I rang him from the landline.
Yeah.
I said, now do you believe it's me?
Yeah.
Or are you going to say that I've done a three-way call and reconnected? It can happen. So, truth itself, the definition, has to also be addressed.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah?
Agreed.
It has to be addressed. Now,
To actually know what you're talking about. Yeah.
exactly. So as you can see, for us to say definitive truth, we would necessarily have a yardstick prior. Now the problem is that if you say, okay, I've got this yardstick, my first question would be, okay, where did you take it from? Because if you are going to base it on your very limited resources, then it's subjective.
So then, how do you?
It's
come
a problem.
How do you come to? So what are you saying to me?
There's reason and there's revelation. Yeah?
Yes.
The vital distinction,
So,
you know, which established for
that
me.
reason is limited though, but what you're saying is
Something has to assist it to arrive
gotcha.
at an understanding.
So you're saying like
My submission is that the revelation that came from the Creator is the only thing that is going to definitively assist you in establishing what is the truth. Now,
you're saying it's within reason but beyond reason at the same time.
absolutely, but that beyond reason, you know, there's a famous. Salam alaikum, ki hai pe? Theek hai?
Alhamdulillah.
Good. Alhamdulillah.
You were undercover, so I didn't
Absolutely. Alhamdulillah. See you in a bit, Sheikh. Yeah.
You're
So
famous.
forget that. Tell the wife that, you'll find out. Yeah. So basically, what happens here is this: you think, right? Okay, as a human being, I can stretch my understanding to as far as I can. Yeah.
Yes.
No matter what, I'll find something else. I'll find something else. I'll find something else. But over and above that, I need to know what it is. Yeah, what it is that should make me want to go the next step. Yeah. So as a human being, I look around and I think, right, okay, why am I here? Okay, I think I know why. I'll make loads of money. Yeah. Just a average. Yeah. I'll make loads and loads of money. Okay, so somebody comes along, yes, hi Shabir, what are you doing? I said, well, I'm just thinking about how to make loads of money. And he tells me, he says, look, how soon do you want the money? I said, well, doesn't matter. The quicker the better. Yeah. He said, let's go and rob a bank. Now, what do I think? Now, the way we have been brought up, what's the first thing I will think? What do you think I will think first if he says, let's go and rob a bank?
So say again. What?
He says, you know, when I tell him I want to make money,
Yeah.
he says, how soon do you want to make the money?
Yeah.
I said, well, the sooner the better.
Yeah.
He said, okay, let's go and rob a bank.
Okay. Okay.
Now, question.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you think I'm going to think when he says that?
Is this the best idea?
That's a good one. Are you sure? Yeah. But he turns around and tells me, he says, look, we are here once, we are going to die dust. It shouldn't matter. We call it our innate processes, whatever it is. We'll think, nah, come on, that's somebody else's. You can't just take it. Yeah. A guy, just a similar example, and this was actually what happened. I was not married. Yeah. I walked into this garage where there were friends. Yeah. And one of them asked me, he says, Shabir, are you married? I said, no, I'm not. He says, good, don't get married. I said, why? He says, well, in that case, you can have any woman you want. I said, okay, I'll start with your wife then. He didn't say any woman. You should have seen the whole place going quiet.
His wife there?
Serious?
Was his wife there?
Here, he was here, yeah, in the UK. Yeah, you should have seen. Now, the logic here is, it shouldn't have mattered. He should have said, yeah, carry on, no worries.
Based on what you're saying, yeah.
But you see, something, it wouldn't have gone silent unless something was said which touched a raw nerve. Yeah. But the issue is, there are so many aspects of a human life, yeah, which we have to look at and think, is this right, is this wrong, is this right? Where do we get this, call it innate faculty of determining what our conscience will not allow us to do? Where do we get it from?
Some people might say God, some people might say...
Excellent. Some people might say it's the environment surrounding, it's conditioning, social conditioning, etc. How do I now establish which one it is definitively? Now that search, when I looked at it, and like I said, it's not on a superficial level, you have to go deeper, and then you find, look, we have got something that no other creature has, this faculty of reason. You know, there's amongst the scientists, they've got a famous phrase. They say, if everything is subject to natural control,
But then, you said we can find it definitively. Didn't you just say that if there's nothing to measure it with, how do we get to there?
But that's the point, though. Okay. Unless you know the yardstick by which to measure, you will not know whether you are measuring it correctly or not.
I'm with you.
But you see, they will say, the scientists, if everything is subject to natural control, there is no room for supernatural control. Are you following that? In other words, if everything is subject to natural causes, there is no room for supernatural causes. In other words, if we can explain everything from a natural perspective, it leaves no room for a creator. Supernatural causes are beyond what is natural. Natural causes preclude supernatural causes. But I turned it on its head. I am saying, if everything is subject to supernatural causes, there is no room for natural causes. It works both ways. But mine, I would submit, is more reasonable, because there are instances of which we are aware of, but we can't explain right now. They will respond by saying this is the God of the gaps argument. I would submit, no, it isn't the God of the gaps argument. It's a question of understanding.
Can I just, what are you talking about, and can I video this conversation? Because...
Are you okay?
I'm not really coming to get videos, but...
Well, give it a few minutes. We are nearly finished. The brother is just, okay. No worries. So, to me it is simple. If we are aware of everything, and I mean everything in the whole of the universe, then we can confidently assert whether it is natural causes, the way we define natural, as opposed to supernatural causes, the way it is defined.
If we know everything,
But we know in one lifetime we can't do that.
No.
So how do you establish, like I said, definitively? You would need a yardstick. But for us to establish the yardstick, how do we do that? Now, I would submit the reason and revelation then come together. Yes?
Yes.
At the end of the day, I can confidently assert that the system that I have adopted and putting my effort in, gives me that kind of confidence that I am going the right way. But that is based on the evidence available. And it's by no means the end of the journey. It's a continuous one. But once you have the yardstick, you know which way you are going. Without that yardstick, you will still keep going. It may take you 50 years before you come back to the conclusion which you would have found 25 years prior. So there you are. That's how it is. If we got anywhere from when we started, congratulations.
Because all I'm going to say is, okay, so according to this article, you're saying something that's sort of, we have to be outside us, or
what?
You're saying in terms of you're saying because you're saying that like we can't know everything.
No.
So assume you're saying
in one lifetime we can't.
So assume you're saying, if you want to say the thing that knows everything is outside of what is outside of us.
If we say that, we would first apply reason to it, that it's outside of us. In what way? If it is inside of us, in what way?
Because we know that we don't know everything.
Exactly. But so, for us to establish what this external force is, logic dictates that if that external force is far, 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 far superior to our limited understanding, then logic dictates that it is the superior entity that will inform the inferior entity instead of the other way around.
I get it, but the thing is, we again, I'm not defining what we're talking about.
No problem, yes.
It's not a proof still. It's not a proof for this.
Absolutely not. Because if you are talking about proof, then you are talking about evidence. If you are talking about evidence, you are now stuck into that realm of it has to be within natural causes. Objective. But if you are going to reason that whatever the force is beyond what we would consider to be natural, then you'll never find it.
Because you can't find the proof.
Logically speaking.
You're saying that
hence
existence depends on nothing. But then you're saying
there's something.
There's something.
Exactly. Hence the reason why I said reason and revelation then come together. Because one without the other just doesn't work. No matter how much you try and reason out. For example, I will ask you, why on Sunday the 26th are me and you standing here talking to each other? Give me a good reason.
But why we are standing?
Why? Why are we standing here talking to each other?
Because
why?
I know today's Sunday the 26th.
Yes.
And I have a conversation.
Thank you for repeating what I just said.
You can't prove outside itself.
But we can't, can we? No. We can't definitively say why. Are we saying, now here's an interesting one, are we saying that all the particles in the whole of the universe, think about this, all the particles in the universe, negatively charged, positively charged, whatever they are, all the atoms in the universe, they all colluded to make sure that they arrange themselves in such a way that me and you stood here.
No, you can't. No.
Sounds a bit daft.
No, you can't base it on physical phenomena.
But if you take the natural view of life, that is exactly what we are saying.
It's true.
It doesn't make sense, does it?
There has to be some kind of
There has to be, but that is where the crux comes now. That even if they all lined up so that me and you were stood here speaking to each other, there must be something that generated all this. What generated them to? There has to be a moving force. So the natural view of life is not entirely making sense when it is addressed appropriately.
We're not fair on the dawah, are we? We're not fair on the dawah.
I'm with you. Okay, now the other stuck in.
Sorry, bro. Assalamu alaikum. How are you, my brother?
Alhamdulillah.
All good? You look very young, mashallah.
Alhamdulillah.
Good.
76, not bad.
Not bad at all.
bad.
Eh? Mashallah.
I'll come later, inshallah.
Yeah. So you see, when you look at the natural view, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. And that is where you will find when reason and revelation come together, everything starts falling into place. But like I said, it is on an evidential basis. Yeah, it's not about what I think or what he thinks. It is actually assessing it and coming to that conclusion.
I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
Yes. I'm sorry, I don't even know your name.
Anthony.
Anthony, I'm
Yeah,
Shabir.
Shabir.
Nice meeting you, Anthony. Yeah. So that is how it is.
So now, but also what I was going to say is, we've known all this now, yeah. I agree in terms of you have to come to conclusions based on the evidential,
Yeah. On evidence.
on what the evidence says.
Assessment of it, yes.
But now the question is now. Go on,
Sorry, I just want to say I'll try to come back.
Yeah, inshallah,
I'm
no
just going
problem
to
at
my
all.
cousin nephew's house.
Yeah.
and
No problem
I
at all.
just heard that it starts from 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock.
Yeah. We intend
I
to
didn't know that. I thought that's about it. That's it. Start.
No, inshallah, it carries on.
Then I'll definitely come back. if
Yeah,
you ask me.
definitely. And drop us a message on
I
the
need
thing.
your number. When I come back, will you be here?
Yeah,
Next 1
I might not be, just take it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, brother?
Because it's so important that I get you.
Yeah,
get your
inshallah.
number.
Sorry, Anthony, just give us 1 second, brother.
So now on the,
Yes,
I'm totally agree with that.
yeah,
But you see, the issue is now, with the evidence we have,
yes,
some people disagree on the meaning of what the evidence says,
yes,
and some people are in dispute as to whether this is actually evidence as well.
yes.
So then, do you know what I
Right,
mean?
no problem. You see, the first one is evidence being disagreed. That is why, as I said in our conversation, the most important thing is obtaining that evidence and reasonably assessing the evidence.
Yes.
Yeah? Now, number one. Number two, if somebody says, well, I don't consider that evidence, then there has to be an objective basis for rejecting that as evidence.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah? Again, you will find that if me and you are discussing cameras, yeah, for us to understand what we are discussing necessarily means that we both know what a camera is. Yeah. Now, if somebody is passing by, he listens to us, he says, what are you guys arguing about or discussing? Oh, we are discussing cameras. He says, you mean something like that? And we look at that and we say, no, we've decided that's not a camera. He's going to look at us and think, yeah, I think I'll leave these guys alone and walk on. So, no problem about somebody wanting to suggest that the evidence is not evidence, but there has to be an objective basis for that. And if the evidence is available, its reasonable assessment will mean that you are critically analyzing it. Yeah? For you to arrive at a given comfort zone, you will need to critically analyze the evidence. A lot of people, for example, the Muslims are vilified right now. Why?
Very vilified.
Why? Because, they burn people, they are misogynistic, they are this, that and the other. And when you ask the person, can we just assess everything the way it ought to be assessed? You find 99 times out of 100, they change their view. There's a threshold of evidence that is required. Yeah, just like in this country. For murder to be, for somebody to have a conviction of murder, it's not straightforward.
Beyond reasonable doubt.
Absolutely, it has to be beyond reasonable. Now, it's not only that. You see, where it says 4 upright witnesses, yes, those witnesses